Welcome back to the AFL season launch here at Luna Park in Sydney. As I mentioned earlier, the dignitaries have now gone inside for a few formalities. Tom Morris, our chief football reporter, joins me. We know those matches have now been postponed, but what are the scenarios?
Well, the main scenario for Brisbane and Geelong, TJ, is that game is round 3. That's easy. Both teams have a bye. It looks like the AFL will confirm that in the next 24 to 48 hours. The hard one is Gold Coast versus Essendon. This will be played later on in the year. It's just where it wedges in the fixture and how many other clubs are impacted by that. The AFL is working overtime to get to a solution. At the moment, the Suns and the Dons are none the wiser.
Well, you mentioned the Dons. A little earlier, we caught up with Essendon President David Barham. Your thoughts on the decision?
Oh, I think it's the right decision. I think people always come first, and I don't think anyone wanted to fly into a Category 2 cyclone and play a game of footy.
Have you got a preference for when that game will be played?
No, not really. We've got some options, but it's got to be worked through, and it's going to impact not just us, but a lot of clubs, really, because it's got to be slotted into the schedule somewhere.
Well, as you'll see, these pictures, there are a number of CEOs here, a number of club presidents here, a lot of AFL officials, and it's been, well, the AFL's been working out what to do with Queensland. The club CEOs and presidents have been meeting as well.
They have. Gil McLachlan's here as well, which is interesting, TJ. Yeah, the CEOs and the presidents had a meeting this afternoon with the AFL. A number of topics were discussed. It was pretty line and length, but Tasmania was the main one. The AFL reaffirmed to the presidents and the CEOs, no stadium, no team. They did concede they're a couple of months behind. What happens in Parliament later this year will be crucial, and they still expect to have a team in the AFL in 2028, and nothing is deterring them from that. And the presidents and CEOs are warming to that, but they hope that it's financially viable, which of course is the big question.
I wonder where the AFL season launch will be in 2028.
Launceston on a hope, or maybe Davenport, who knows?
Yeah, Devonport. Hey, down at Cardinia Park, even before that announcement was made today by the AFL, it was business as usual for the Cats. But, as Clint Stanaway tells us, there was one notable absentee from training.
An almost full complement of Cats, but no Bailey Smith. The gun recruit instead training indoors away from prying eyes.
Bailey's absolutely ready to go. He's going to have an impact for us. One way or another, it's going to be good fun.
The Geelong coach looks ready and raring for his 15th year in charge, and there'll be some tweaks. Sam de Koning among them, who'll play primarily in the ruck.
He's stronger, he's in a lot of ways much more physically prepared than he has been for previous seasons.
But always one with an eye to the future, the prospect of snaring Matt Rowell still looms large, although it's clear this could become a game of cat and mouse as the season drags on.
Is he one of the best under 23 midfielders in the comp? Yeah, I'd have him in that group.
The Lions have a flag to defend, and Chris Fagan is adopting a well-worn mantra heading into the season proper.
You can't look back in this game. Everybody's trying to get better.
While he admits they'll double down on most aspects of their game, he's hell-bent on getting a flying start after playing catch-up last season at 0-3.
To be honest with you, I can never quite put my finger on why you start well in a season and why you don't.
The Pies will be without Jordan De Goey on Sunday, ruled out with knee bruising, but a sore Braden Maynard will play. A double blow for the Giants. Jesse Hogan has broken his thumb, apparently after jamming it in a door. He'll be out until at least round 2. They're also bracing for life without Jake Stringer. A dodgy hammy means he'll miss Sunday's battle with Collingwood and likely the round 1 clash with Melbourne too. The annual captain survey, it always makes for some pretty interesting reading. This year is no exception. 9 of the 18 skippers, as you'll see here, believe it is Brisbane's to lose in 2025, while 8 are tipping a maiden flag for GWS. When it comes to the Brownlow medal, how about this? No surprises, Nick Dacos is all the rage. Well clear in the end of Marcus Bontempelli. There are some obscure questions asked as well, Tony, like what would you be if you weren't a footballer? The responses, among them a fireman, there was a professional surfer and a Kentucky tour operator, but no sport presenter. Tony?
No, although they do tend to queue up in their retirement, don't they? And a fireman, geez, the last footballer that embarked on a fireman career didn't last very long. Who could that be?